Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, May the 2nd, 2021. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com, for anything and everything involving the show, from podcasts to videos, interviews, photo gallery. Just recently put up an event page so you can see everywhere that the podcast is going to be, including the Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series coming up this summer, starting on June the 5th. Head to catchhookshoot.com/events. You can find ticket information, where you can listen to the live audio broadcast of the show with myself and Charlie G. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content. All the content for the month of May just went up today, or yesterday, I should say, May 1st, as well as a brand new trivia question, so check that out. The trivia is available to all tiers on Patreon, and the winner of the trivia contest each month gets a free Catch, Hook, and Shoot t-shirt. So head over to patreon.com/catchhookshoot to check that out. Make sure to subscribe to twitch.tv/catchhookshoot, where we do watch parties every now and then for different wrestling-themed videos and movies and things of that nature. I'll be putting out on social media when those will be taking place. And make sure to go to prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for additional t-shirts that we have over there. And you can find all that and a whole lot more on our Linktree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. And I want to mention also on the website, in the shop, catchhookshoot.com/shop, we've got a couple of brand new merchandise items, a brand new t-shirt and a brand new hat. And these are themed for Steve Mongo McMichael. I know I mentioned last week he has recently been diagnosed with ALS. He is, he's actually, from what I've read, paralyzed from the shoulders down. He's lost the use of his arms. He's confined to a wheelchair. So, I put up some new merchandise there. It is in the colors of the Chicago Bears, orange and navy blue. Brand new t-shirt with the CHS logo. On the left shoulder, it's got Mongo's football number 76. On the right shoulder, it's got my my interpretation, I guess you could say, of the Four Horsemen logo to commemorate both his football and wrestling careers. And 50% of all the proceeds from these t-shirts, as well as the hats that are also out in the Chicago Bears colors, 50% of all the proceeds from both of those go directly to Steve McMichael's GoFundMe to help offset the cost of his rising medical bills. So head over to catchhookshoot.com/shop, pick those up, and contribute to Mongo's GoFundMe page. So let's dive right into everything going on in the world of pro wrestling this week, and we're going to kick it all off, like always, with the match of the week. So the match of the week this week, coming from Friday Night Smackdown, surprisingly enough. I know it's been quite a while since a match of the week has come from either Smackdown or Raw. Typically, it's either AEW or NXT where the match of the week comes from. But this week, it is Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. This was a pay-per-view main event quality match. Just absolutely fantastic. It was a straight-up match. No interference, no BS. Straight-up match with a clean finish. Roman Reigns did retain the championship in this match, which, per the stipulation of the match, Daniel Bryan now is banned from Friday Night Smackdown. Now, what exactly that means, we're going to have to wait and find out. There's been a lot of speculation online that he may be going to NXT, which I think would be fantastic, to be honest. I mean, think of some of the matches that Daniel Bryan could have with some of the NXT superstars. Although one thing that did occur to me, since Cesaro seems to be getting quite a bit of a push lately, the one thing where Cesaro may be lacking is his promo skills, and he may do well with a mouthpiece or a manager. And I could see Daniel Bryan filling that role very well. Now, maybe they work this as like a loophole in that contract stipulation, like, oh, he's banned from wrestling on SmackDown, but he can still act as a manager or something along those lines. Just an idea that I'm throwing out there. I haven't read this anywhere, just my own fantasy booking, as it were. But match of the week, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship from Friday Night SmackDown. So if you have not seen that one, definitely go back and check it out. It's absolutely worth the watch. And then after the match, then we saw the shenanigans. Roman continuing to attack Daniel Bryan. Cesaro comes out to make the save. Jey Uso comes out, jumps on Cesaro. They tie Cesaro up in the ropes and make him watch as Roman hits a concerto on Daniel Bryan. So, it looks like Bryan is at least being written off of TV for a little while. I wouldn't expect to see him back for probably a couple months, I would guess, or at least a few weeks. But, hitting a move like that, a concerto on Daniel Bryan, who everybody knows has a history of concussion issues, that is definitely something that could be used to write him off of TV for some time. So probably not gonna see Bryan on TV for a little while. But when we do, where are we gonna see him? Is it gonna be NXT? Is he gonna be back on SmackDown? Maybe as a manager for Cesaro? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But match of the week: Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. So moving right along here into our next segment, it is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 Count. Number 1 on the 3 count, once again, Alexa Bliss with Alexa's Playground from Monday Night Raw. And we saw her and Lily again. And basically Alexa is saying she's going to unleash Lily on the WWE. And, I've kind of been guessing and speculating what exactly does that mean for the last couple of weeks. Is Lily going to be an alter ego for Alexa like The Fiend is for Bray Wyatt? Or is Lily going to be a completely separate person, possibly like Nikki Cross? Maybe we haven't seen her on TV in a while. Could she be getting repackaged as Lily, kind of under Alexa's spell, as it were? A lot of directions that this could go. So this storyline I've told you guys many times is my favorite thing going on Raw. So I am glued to the TV anytime something with this is coming on. So I can't wait to see what form Lily is going to take once she is unleashed on the Raw Women's Division. Number 2 on the 3 count, the Pinnacle and Inner Circle parlay from AEW Dynamite. Basically, this was to determine who gets the man advantage in the Blood and Guts match coming up this week on Dynamite. And Tony Schiavone was going to flip a coin. Sean Spears stopped him and said, no, we're taking the advantage. That's it. And Sammy Guevara basically got on the mic and said, you want the advantage? Fine, take it. We're still going to kick your ass. It was the pretty much the gist of what was said. And just a lot of good stuff in this with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. All these guys turning out to be very, very good on the mic. And, some of them haven't gotten a lot of mic time in the past. I mean, we know Jericho can cut a promo. We know MJF can cut a promo. Sammy Guevara, very good on the microphone. But, FTR and Santana and Ortiz, the only ones we really didn't hear from was Jake Hager and Wardlow, which I was kind of disappointed we didn't hear from Wardlow in this one, because I thought he did damn good on the in the Pinnacle interview segment last week with Jim Ross. But, so the Pinnacle is going to get the man advantage, and Sammy Guevara has said he will be starting for the Inner Circle. And, in case you don't know, the way this works is basically exactly the same as War Games. 2 rings surrounded by a single cage. But looking at the graphic, it's not your typical War Games cage. It looks bigger. It looks like a double Hell in the Cell, to be honest. Because from the graphic they've been showing, the cage goes all the way to the floor. So it kind of looks like a double Hell in the Cell. I'm wondering how they're going to do this on TV. I'm wondering if this is going to be a pre-taped match that they do in Jaguar Stadium rather than in Daly's Place, because I can't see them setting up 2 rings inside Daly's Place. So I'm thinking this may be pre-recorded where they set up the 2 rings with that massive cage actually in Jaguar Stadium and tape it there. So, but we'll have to see. Maybe they reconfigure Daly's Place to hold the 2 rings. How they're gonna get the cage around it, I don't know, unless they have that match first so they can take the cage down and have the rest of the show. So who knows? But yeah, Blood and Guts coming up this week on AEW Dynamite, the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Cannot wait to see it. And number 3 on the 3 count, Kenny Omega has unified the AEW, Impact, and TNA World Championships. He was victorious in his match against Rich Swann, the Impact champion, who also held the TNA championship, which, you know, apparently is a recognized title again. So, yeah, Kenny Omega now is the Impact, TNA, AEW, and AAA world champion. So Kenny Omega turning into the new belt collector, as it were. And a lot of people have been clamoring online, wanting to see this continue and wanting to see the next belt that Kenny goes after be the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently held by Will Ospreay. And Ospreay actually chimed in and said, hey, he knows where I am. So it's not off the table. I mean, it's a long shot that it'll happen, but it's not off the table. So we'll have to wait and see where Kenny Omega goes from here. So talking about Omega winning the Impact Championships, let's get into the results from Slammiversary last week, or not Slammiversary, but yeah, Hard to Kill? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, so on the pre-show, we had Rosemary and Havoc defeating Kimberly and Susan in a tag team match, and as far as my predictions, I went 7 out of 8, so I'm pretty happy with that. Josh Alexander is your new X Division champion, defeated Ace Austin and TJP in a 3-way match. Violent by Design defeated Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack in an 8-man tag match. Now, Violent by Design, Eric Young was out with an injury. He suffered a knee injury at the last set of TV tapings. There was a lot of speculation about who would be taking his place. I think I mentioned last week maybe they just make it a 6-man and drop somebody from the other side or whatever, but the person taking his place ended up being W. Morrissey, formerly known as Big Cass from WWE. So he is now part of the Impact roster and apparently a part of Violent by Design, or at least an associate. And yeah, he looks to be in phenomenal shape, and just from what I've seen at the pay-per-view and on the on Impact this past Thursday, he is being showcased as a monster. So I'm liking the way that they are presenting him. Brian Myers defeated Matt Cardona in their grudge match. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering are your new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. They defeated Fire and Flava for those championships. Trey Miguel defeated Sami Callihan in the last man standing match. The one match that I got my prediction wrong, FinJuice managed to retain the Impact World Tag Team Championships against the Good Brothers. Deonna Purrazzo retained the Knockouts Championship against Tennille Dashwood, and we already talked about Kenny Omega winning the Impact and TNA Championships from Rich Swann. So let's move on to what else is going on in the world of pro wrestling this week, starting off with WWE here. On Raw, we saw T-Bar and Mace pick up another victory over Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, this time via countout. You know, they've got 2 straight wins over Braun and Drew. I mean, they've been, you know, count out and DQ, but hey, a win's a win. So I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to start giving T-Bar and Mace a little bit of a push. I really wish they would let them go back to their regular names, or even just call them Dijak and Dio if they want to go with the single names. I think Dijak and Dio sounds a hell of a lot better than T-Bar and Mace, but that's just me. Sonya Deville, a little bit of a overstepping her powers here as an authority figure, reinstates Charlotte Flair, much to the chagrin of Adam Pearce, who was not happy about Sonya Deville's decision here. We saw the debut of RK Bro, the tag team of Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, and they picked up a victory over Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. I'm not sure what this means. Is Randy Orton a babyface now, or is he setting up Matt Riddle to just, you know, destroy him at some point? I have no idea. I don't know what to make of RK Bro, but I guess we'll find out at some point. Charlotte made her return to the ring, picked up a victory over Mandy, and then Braun Strowman defeated Drew McIntyre to get himself added to the WrestleMania Backlash title match to make that a 3-way between now Drew, Braun, and Bobby Lashley. Moving on to NXT, Dakota Kai defeated Mercedes Martinez, or actually, no, the match ended up in a no contest when Raquel Gonzalez just put a beating on Mercedes. Mercedes Martinez, really campaigning to be the next challenger for Gonzalez's women's championship. We saw an interview in the back with Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, the women's tag team champions, and during that interview, there were flowers delivered to them, apparently from Dexter Lumis, who they teamed with last week. And this caused a little bit of jealousy, so to speak, on the part of Indy Hartwell, which we saw flare up a little bit later on in the show. But that interview with Shotzi and Ember was interrupted by Frankie Monet, the former Taya Valkyrie. Still waiting for her to make her in-ring debut. We saw a promo from the Grizzled Young Veterans, which was interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa and returning Timothy Thatcher. So, give me that match. Grizzled Young Veterans versus Ciampa and Thatcher. Yes, please. I want to see that. And we saw a video, an interesting kind of cryptic video from Xia Li, Boa, and Tian Sha. Their handler, I guess, would be the best word for it. So I'm wondering, the focus of it was Tian Sha. I'm wondering if we're going to see her in the ring at some point. So that's something to keep an eye on. Swerve Scott put out a challenge to Leon Ruff for a Falls Count Anywhere match, and we're going to see that this coming week on NXT. Tony Storm had a match against a newcomer, Zeta Ramir, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, and Zeta picked up the victory over Tony Storm with a little bit of help from Zoe Stark, causing a distraction. But so Tony Storm looks to be on a little bit of a losing streak to some NXT newbies here, so I'm sure this is heading somewhere with the storyline between Storm and Stark. So I mean, honestly, Tony Storm, one of my favorite NXT wrestlers, and Zoe Stark, definitely my favorite of the recent NXT signees. I mean, I was very happy when I saw that they had picked up Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan. But Zoe Stark has seriously impressed the hell out of me. So I'm definitely here for this rivalry with her and Tony Storm. Bronson Reed defeated Austin Theory with a little bit of a distraction from both Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell, and this was a number one contenders match for the North American Championship, so Bronson Reed will be getting another shot at that title. And we saw some kind of cool vignettes throughout the show of Cameron Grimes at a watch store, wanting, flashing his money around again, wanting the most expensive watch, and this time at the end of these vignettes, once he had picked out and gotten his watch and everything, he's standing there admiring it, and somebody comes up from behind him and says, "Nice watch, kid, but it's not $1 million watch." And it was Ted DiBiase, kind of, the foil to Cameron Grimes, as it's been the last couple of weeks, and this time DiBiase was actually on camera. So I'm liking this. I want to see where it's going to go with DiBiase and Cameron Grimes. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me eventually to see DiBiase as Grimes' manager or something along those lines, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one as well. And then Shotzi and Ember received even more gifts. They were supposed to be having a match, and ended up getting attacked before the match by Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and that led to a street fight for next week. So that should be a damn good match with those four women in there. And then we saw an interview with Adam Cole, his first appearance on TV since that unsanctioned match that he had with Kyle O'Reilly, and basically the gist of it was he's not done with O'Reilly yet. So this, I'm assuming, is going to continue. And Legado del Fantasma picked up a win over MSK and Kushida. So, this an interesting budding rivalry between LDF and MSK, along with Kushida. Of course, MSK and Kushida, all champions in NXT. And Legado del Fantasma obviously wants those championships. And then we saw another vignette for something called the Diamond Mine. Now, I don't know if this is a new faction or a new individual or what it may be coming to NXT. A lot of people speculating that it may be Tessa Blanchard because she, wears diamonds on her gear and that kind of thing. But I don't know. The vignette and the logo that they showed afterwards were very MMA oriented. So, and that's not Tessa Blanchard's style. So, I'm curious to see what exactly the Diamond Mine is all about. Moving on to NXT UK, looks like there's a new faction forming over there called Subculture, which consists of Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and Danny Luna. So I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing. And again, if you are not keeping up with NXT UK, if for no other reason, watch it just for the matches. I mean, it's only an hour-long show. There's usually 2 or 3 matches on the show. Check it out if you're a fan of the in-ring product like I am. NXT UK is definitely something you want to watch. We saw a promo from Kaylee Ray, who right now is the longest reigning champion in WWE, and found out there's going to be a gauntlet match for the number 1 contendership for the NXT UK Women's Championship, and it is going to be Ginny versus Isla Dawn versus Xia Brookside versus Danny Luna versus Millie McKenzie. So, from those women, I would like to see Xia Brookside come out of this one. That's definitely a long shot. She's definitely the underdog in this match. I would say it's probably going to be Millie McKenzie or Amelia McKenzie, as they're calling her in NXT UK now. But I think she's the most likely winner. But I'd really like to see Xia Brookside come out as kind of the surprise winner in this one. And then we found out in 3 weeks there's going to be a Heritage Cup Championship match between A-Kid and Tyler Bate. I can't wait to see that one. I like the Heritage Cup matches. I like the rule system that they have in place for it. So if you haven't checked out NXT UK in a while, definitely check it out. Check out the Heritage Cup matches that they have. It's kind of similar to Ring of Honor's Pure Division. Not exactly the same, though, but it's got a round system, and it's first person to get 3 falls is the victor, and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, definitely give that one a look. And then Meiko Satomura got a win over Aoife Valkyrie in a very, very good match. And in the main event, Gallus just eked out a win over Symbiosis, which is the new name for the team that was at one point known as the Hunt. So, and again, very good match between those guys. Moving on to SmackDown, Street Profits and Bianca Belair got a win over the Dirty Dogs, as they call themselves, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode and Bayley in a 6-person mixed tag team match. Natalya and Tamina got a win over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and apparently it was a non-title match, I guess, because the titles didn't change hands. So I'm still waiting for Natty and Tamina to get that title shot. We saw another video from Aleister Black, and I'm liking the way that they're presenting him now, and I'm very, very hopeful for when he returns to the ring that he's going to be put in a good spot and hopefully work his way up to a championship program at some point, because he's definitely one that the fans get behind. He's great in the ring. I think his promos are very good because he's got that kind of dark, brooding type of personality, so he doesn't need to be real animated or anything like that. He just needs to be like, mysterious and quiet and that kind of thing. Almost along the same lines as The Undertaker. I'm not comparing him to The Undertaker or anything like that, but I'm saying in that same vein as far as Aleister Black's promos go. Apollo Crews retained the Intercontinental Championship in a rematch against Big E, thanks to some interference from Commander Aziz. We saw Kevin Owens come out, try to make the save for Big E, and he was attacked by Sami Zayn. And then Commander Aziz takes out Sami Zayn. So apparently, Apollo Crews doesn't want any other friends besides Aziz. And then we already talked about the main event, Roman Reigns retaining the Universal Championship against Daniel Bryan in just a fantastic match between these two guys. Definitely go back and check that one out. Let's move on to some AEW news. On Elevation, we saw Rey Fenix pick up a win over Chuck Taylor in a again, really good match. I mean, Phoenix and Chuck Taylor, what do you expect? Layla Hirsch had a really cool promo video. I like these videos that they do on Dark Elevation, kind of like a profile of, a wrestler every week. It's either some type of, video package or an interview with Paul White, like they did with the Acclaimed last week. This week it was a Layla Hirsch video package, to kind of, so that the audience can get to know these wrestlers that are up and coming in AEW that you may not have seen other places yet. So a really cool segment that they've been doing on Elevation every week. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page got a win over the Dark Order, and Matt Sydal defeated Joey Janela in the main event of Elevation. Moving on to Dark, Brian Cage got a win over Marty Casaus, I believe is how they said his name, formerly Marty the Moth from Lucha Underground. This was like his re-debut. He has been out with a severe injury for a couple years. One point was told he'd never wrestle again. Came back, looked to be in fantastic shape, and he and Brian Cage, no strangers to each other, know each other from Lucha Underground. And they put on a hell of a match on AEW Dark, so go back and check that one out too. And then Layla Hirsch again picked up a victory over Renee Michelle, the wife of Drake Maverick from the WWE. Great wrestler in her own right, though, Renee Michelle. But, Layla Hirsch picks up a win. And the Dark Order got a victory over the Hardy Family Office. Moving on to Dynamite, Brian Cage defeated Hangman Page, which, had a little bit of help from Team Taz. They attacked Hangman Page before the match, and Hangman just kind of never got out of the box from the beginning of the match. Brian Cage kind of just dominated from the beginning after that attack by Team Taz. The Young Bucks picked up a victory over the Sydal brothers. At the end of that match, SCU came out, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and basically saying they're the number one contenders. They've been the number one contenders. They've been undefeated for I don't know how many weeks, and they want their title shot. So basically that led to next week there's going to be a four-way number one contenders match for the tag team champion, or number one contendership for the tag team championships. That's what I'm trying to say. Orange Cassidy got a win over Pentagon in, again, a damn good match. A lot of good wrestling going on this week. Eddie Kingston came out, beat the hell out of Michael Nakazawa. He had challenged Kenny Omega, and Omega said, no, we're sending the I forget what word he used, the thugs or something like that, just some ridiculous word, ridiculous when it's put in, used to describe Michael Nakazawa. But, Kingston just beat the hell out of Nakazawa, threatened to break his ankle if he didn't get his match with Kenny. And then they tried to send out Brandon Cutler, did the new elite, as it were, but Kingston or Moxley ended up coming down, and they got a hold of Omega, got him in the ring, and were threatening to break his leg if Don Callis didn't set up a match for next week. So it's going to be Kenny Omega and Nakazawa taking on Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. Should be interesting, because I'm thinking Nakazawa is going to be a non-factor in this, so it's basically a handicap match. So, look for Kenny Omega to just get the crap beat out of him for the most part until the rest of the elite, the new elite, come out and make the save and, end the match one way or another. We saw another promo in the back between Christian Cage and Taz. Taz still trying to get Christian onto Team Taz, and Christian still turning him down flat. Chris Statlander got a victory over Penelope Ford in a very good women's match. The Factory, QT Marshall's new faction, got a win over the Nightmare Family with quite a bit of help from Anthony Ogogo. And then we saw Nick Camarado attack Dustin with his own bull rope, of all things. The Gun Club came out and got their hands on QT Marshall, and QT ran away at that point, trying to get back on the Nightmare Family bus that he apparently hijacked and used to transport the Factory to Daly's place. But when he got to the bus, he was greeted by Cody Rhodes, which ended up in a huge brawl between the two of them outside the bus, on top of the bus. Cody put the figure four on QT Marshall on top of the freaking bus, which was just, I thought that was a cool looking spot. So definitely not over by a long shot, and we're going to see Cody versus QT this week coming up on Dynamite at the Blood and Guts event. Then Miro finally got his hands on Kip Sabian, who had made his return during Penelope Ford's match. And, Miro just beat the holy hell out of Kip Sabian in the locker room and slammed his arm in a door, so making it look like Kip possibly with a broken arm. Who knows? And then after Miro got done beating the shit out of Kip Sabian, he grabs him, hugs him, and says, "I forgive you." Miro has kind of lost it and has just turned into a lunatic monster heel, and I love it. It's what he should have been all along. And and when I say all along, I'm talking about in WWE. Should have just been that crazy monster heel. But his gimmick over there was just overdone. So I like what they've done with him here in AEW. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go from here. Then in the main event, this was the match of the week up until that Roman and Daniel Bryan match. Darby Allin retaining the TNT Championship against the Dark Order's 10. These two put on an amazing freaking match, and it's Darby Allin and 10 from the Dark Order, and this is the main event. So don't tell me AEW's not trying to push their younger talent. Okay, I see so many people complaining about all of the ex-WWE guys in AEW. Well, no shit. If they're not wrestling in WWE, they're probably going to wrestle in AEW. It's just the way it is. So this is not a new thing. Guys have been jumping from one company to the other for literally decades in professional wrestling. Yet so many idiot fans online have a fit when it happens, or want to laugh about it, saying, "Oh, another WWE reject." You're an idiot. It's been happening since the beginning of time when it comes to pro wrestling. Guys move around. It happens. Contracts end. They move on to the next company, or the next territory, as it were. It is what it is. But, Darby and 10 main eventing AEW Dynamite and just tore the house down with this match. Darby Allin ended up retaining the TNT Championship with a unique pinning combination on 10. 10 got Darby in the full Nelson. Darby managed to get to the corner, push himself back on top of 10, and roll it into a pinfall. And that's how he was able to retain the title. We saw a handshake at the end of the match with Darby holding up the Brody Lee armband, showing respect to Brody Lee, which I thought was really cool. And we did see an attack by Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. So one of the two of them is going to be going for that TNT title sooner rather than later. And Lance Archer came out to make the save, of all people. So, and this is, it's something with Archer and Sting. I don't know. It's kind of like Archer is showing respect to Sting because Sting showed respect to Archer. But then, there's a lot of history between Sting and Jake the Snake. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Moving on to Impact, we found out this coming week on Impact will be the debut of El Phantasmo from New Japan Pro Wrestling, member of the Bullet Club. So another New Japan Impact collaboration, and I like the fact that New Japan is kind of slowly integrating itself into this alliance, if you want to call it that, between Impact, AEW. And I really would like to see the NWA get in on this. I really, really would. So, but, obviously that's more fantasy stuff. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But, yeah, El Phantasmo making his Impact debut this coming week. We found out from Scott D'Amore there will be a 6-man number 1 contenders match at their next Impact Plus event called Under Siege on May the 15th. There were 3 qualifying matches this week. So far, Chris Bay, Sammy Callahan, and Matt Cardona have qualified. And next week there will be 3 more matches: Moose versus James Storm, Trey Miguel versus Rohit Raju, and Rhino versus Chris Sabin. So the winners of those 3 matches will be added to that 6-man match. We saw an appearance from W. Morrissey, or Big Cass, whatever you want to call him. Just totally squashed Sam Beal. Which, Sam Beal, I like him a lot. He's a student of Trey Miguel. I've seen him here at Warrior Wrestling events. Hell of an athlete, so I love that he's getting a chance on Impact. I mean, yes, he's being used in more of an enhancement role right now, but he's getting experience, he's getting built up, he's getting TV exposure. So, and that's the main thing here. So hopefully we'll keep seeing Sam Beal on Impact and, see him start maybe working his way up and getting some victories. Willie Mack put out a challenge to W. Morrissey for Under Siege, so that's definitely a match I wouldn't mind seeing, so we'll have to see if that one ends up getting signed. Taylor Wilde officially made her return to the ring and picked up a win over Kimber Lee in a pretty good match between those 2 women. And Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers attacked Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards during the main event of the match. That was the final qualifying match this week, which Sami Callihan was victorious in that one. Finjuice came out to make the save and ended up getting beat down themselves. So this led to the signing of another match for Under Siege. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Eddie Edwards and Finjuice. Should be a pretty damn good 6-man match there. And then also there's going to be a rematch for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships at Under Siege. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering defending against Fire and Flava. So curious or interested to see that one, because like I said, Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering, give me that tag team all day long. Two of my absolute favorite women wrestlers in the world. They're in my top 5 as far as favorites go. You know, them, Tessa Blanchard, Kylie Ray, and normally I would say Priscilla Kelly, but Zoe Stark seems to be taking that 5th spot for me. So let's move on to some MLW news. Buku Dao picks up the upset victory over Hijo de LA Park on Fusion this week, which led to some trouble for Selena De La Renta with whoever the new owner of Promociones Dorado is, or Azteca Underground, as it were, the parent company there, El Jefe, as he likes to call himself. Haven't seen who this is yet. A lot of speculation that it's Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground. But apparently Selena De La Renta is done with MLW. From what I've seen online on social media and stuff, we saw her being dragged out of the building by one of the minions of Azteca Underground. And then there was a video posted online of her basically running for her life and getting into a helicopter. And from what I've seen, she's done with MLW. So, what is next for Selena De La Renta? Will we see her possibly in WWE or AEW or Impact or who the hell knows? But I hopefully we'll see her pop up somewhere, because as a manager, she's fantastic. She's great on the microphone, and she would do very, very well as as a manager in either AEW or WWE. So hopefully we'll see her pop up somewhere. We also found out from Alicia Atut during MLW Fusion that MLW now has a championship committee made up of different promoters, I guess, from promotions around the globe, including from Dragon Gate and Rev Pro. So kind of interesting there. I'm wondering, how much of a shoot that is. I know MLW does work with other companies, including Dragon Gate and Rev Pro and New Japan and AAA. So I'm curious to see if this is a legit thing, or if this is just like for a kayfabe thing. We found out that Myron Reed will get his rematch for the MLW Middleweight Championship against Leo Rush next week. It was supposed to take place this week, but for whatever reason, Leo Rush did not show up to the arena. Filthy Tom Lawler got a win against Marshall Von Erich, and Team Filthy went on the attack afterwards, and ACH came out to make the save for the Von Erich brothers. So let's move on to some Ring of Honor news here. Saw an appearance from Dalton Castle during the opening match of Ring of Honor TV this week. Match between Eli Isom and Dak Draper. It sounded like Castle was out there trying to recruit them to, kind of join his team, faction, whatever you want to call it, which basically right now consists of Dalton Castle. But then he hit both of them with a low blow and said, "Oh, I'm busy," and walked out. A very odd spot. And then Violence Unlimited, which is the new faction in Ring of Honor, made up of Brody King, Homicide, and Chris Dickinson, took on La Facción Ingobernable. I have so much trouble with that word. Roosh, Kenny King, and Bestia. This ended in a no contest, and then the Foundation came out and just ended up in a 9-man, 10-man brawl, 3-way brawl. So definitely a lot to be settled with the Foundation, LFI, and now Violence Unlimited. Some interesting New Japan news. Jon Moxley will defend the IWGP United States Championship on AEW Dynamite next Wednesday, May the 12th, versus Yuji Nagata. This is huge. It's a New Japan title being defended on AEW TV. This is huge. I cannot overstate that. It's one thing to have him come out with the belt as they did a few weeks ago and to talk about him being the IWGP US champion, but to actually have his title defense on AEW TV against somebody the caliber of Yuji Nagata, a veteran. I'm calling it right now. I know it's still over a week away, but that will probably be the match of the week that week. So Jon Moxley defending the IWGP US title against Yuji Nagata on May the 12th on AEW Dynamite. Some NWA news. The Pope and Tyrus went to a time limit draw in a match for the TV championship this week. And then the main event of the show was a 6-man tag team match where JR Kratos Thomas Latimer and Chris Adonis got the victory over Trevor Murdoch, Aaron Stevens, and Tim Storm. And as a result of that stipulation that Nick Aldis threw into this match, Trevor Murdoch is now suspended for 30 days. And I saw some speculation on this. Could this potentially lead to Dick Murdoch doing kind of a Midnight Rider type of gimmick? Now, for those of you that aren't as old as me and may not remember, the Midnight Rider was a Dusty Rhodes gimmick back in the territory days. Dusty had been suspended for one reason or another, and as soon as Dusty was out, we saw the appearance of the Midnight Rider, which was Dusty Rhodes under a mask. So could we be seeing a tribute to that with Trevor Murdoch on the NWA? We'll have to wait and see. So let's move into some. Oops, that's Rebellion. Moving through my little cards here. Rebellion, that was the Impact pay-per-view. Jesus, God, I couldn't remember the name of it. I called it Hard to Kill. Shows you where my head's at today, guys. But anyway, some miscellaneous news and notes here. Rumor floating around online, the WWE is in talks to work with MLW. Apparently, they're tired of having the reputation that they will not work with other companies. And, I saw some fans comment on WWE works with other companies all the time. No, they don't. Okay. You know what? I'll get into this a little bit later, but WWE supposedly in talks to work with MLW, so we'll have to see what comes out of that. And another rumor, this one, as far as I know, was first broken by SE Scoops online. Tessa Blanchard and Daga are apparently close to signing a deal with AEW. Some people actually saying it's basically a formality that the deal is done. So I think that would be two huge pickups for AEW. Tessa Blanchard would give a huge boost to their women's division, and Daga, I've never seen Daga have a bad match. I've seen him have some amazing matches, as a matter of fact, in both on TV and in person. So yeah, those would be two very, very big pickups for AEW if this rumor is true. And something lending a little credence to this rumor, Daga has vacated the AAA Latin American title earlier this week. Now, granted, Kenny Omega's the AAA Mega Champion, so there's no reason Daga couldn't have kept that title going into AEW, because there's already a precedent there of an AEW guy holding a AAA title. But Daga vacates the AAA Latin American Championship. And just one more quick note, Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 is premiering this week on Thursday with a 2-hour episode on Brian Pillman. So that should be interesting, covering the life of Flying Brian, father of Brian Pillman Jr., obviously, current AEW wrestler. But, check that out on Vice TV on Thursday, Dark Side of the Ring Season 3. So that's going to wrap us up for news and rumors and speculation and results and all that kind of fun stuff for this week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's got your indie cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with this week's heavily edited indie cut once again. There was a lot of wrestling action last weekend, so let's begin with Saturday, April 24th, and Stardom Cinderella Tour in Hamamatsu. We start off with Starlight Kid defeating Lady C. Azumi versus Mayu Iwatani and Momo Watanabe in a triple countout. A very interesting, very good match, but an interesting way to end it, especially with three very highly talented stars. Then we had 6-woman tag of Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Sayaka taking on Himeka, Maika, and Natsupoi, and that went to a 15-minute draw. Then we had Julia and Siri defeat Natsuka Tora and Ruaka. And Fukigen Death and Konami defeated Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashita. Interesting show by Stardom. Still good nonetheless, even with those weird middle to contests. On to Noah, Neo Breeze 2021, day 4. Why do I have this one? Okay, yep, that show took place. Then New Japan Road to Wrestling Don Tuco, day 11 took place. Ice Ribbon, New Ice Ribbon 11-12. Spring is Short Fight Girl show. It was just a pay-per-view show, so we had For the Triangle Ribbon title, champion Matsuya Uno defeat Chiri and Tei Hanma. For the International Ribbon Tag titles, Hiragi Kuromiya and Hiraro Matsumoto defeat the champions of Maika Azaki, there you go, and Maya Yukihai to become new champions. And then for the Ice Infinity title, champion Tsukasa Fujimoto defeated Tsukushi Haruku. There you go. I haven't said those names in a while. To Dragon Gate, the Gate of Passion 2021, Day 12. Where Dragon Kid and Ultimate Dragon defeated Matsumoto Higashihiko and Yachihiko Machine. Yeah, okay. And there was Collegial Pro Rising Night on YouTube. They go for most of the week. All Japan Champion Carnival Day 6 took place. So we had more Champion Carnival matches, as well as Hakuda Omiri, Jake Lee, Tajiri, and Yusaki Kodema defeating Black Mensoria, Riku Honda, Takeo Omiri, and Yoshi Tatsu. Down to Tasmanian Championship Wrestling, the Aftermath 2021 from Tasmania, Australia. So you are on the map once again. For their TCW North S title, champion Dylan Daniels defeated Charlie Rose. And then all the way up to Riot Wrestling Dark Show from Barcelona, Spain. So you are on the map now. For the Riot Condal title, champion Guillermo defeated Delta Rex. From there we go to Progress Chapter 109, Dreaming in 3D. From London, England, Chris Ridgway defeated Danny Black. For the Progress Tag Title Tournament first round match, Charlie Sterling and Nick Riley defeated Brandon White and Danny Jones. Mercedes Blaze defeated Alexis Falcon. And for the Progress Women's title, Best of 3 Series match number 1, Kanji defeated Giselle Shaw. I'll get those names eventually, right? On Insane Championship Wrestling, Fight Club 168 from Glasgow, Scotland. You can check that out on the WWE Network. Then we head to the States for Extreme World Wrestling. A Death to the Queen 2 Colt 45 Memorial Cup from Monroe, North Carolina. And this is on Fight TV. I'll just do the Colt 45 final match. It was a death match, of course, so Raven Havoc defeated Akira and Terry Houston. Up to Wrestle Club, Idaho Wrestle Club, Natural Selection 2021 from Caldwell, Idaho. In a non-title match, Rick Knight defeated Garibai. I looked at that like 5 times and I still don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. Then on to a freelance show from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Uncanny Attractions, Drags and Dropkicks, MV Young's Polyam Cult Party 3. This was actually on Twitch TV, so if you're going to find it or can still find it, please do so. There are some really good names on this show. So we had the Rise Grand Title number 1 contention match with Ziggy Ham defeating Johnny Kai. Edith Farrell defeated Io O'Neill. CPA defeated Colin Delaney. And in a 11-man scramble elimination match, Aspen the Mermaid won that. Xavier Faraday defeated Yoya. Josh Fuller defeated Facade. Don't Die Miles and Jaden the Unbelievable. Some of these names, you gotta love them, right? For the Wrestlers Lab title match, champion MV Young defeated Jody the Wrestler. Charles Mason defeated Lee Moriarty. That'd be a really good match there. And for the Rise Grand title, Ziggy Ham defeated champion David Lawless to become new champion. To Southwest Wrestling Entertainment, Spring Stampede from Irving, Texas. That was on Fight TV. A very long show, so this had to be probably cut up in a few pieces so they could put on Fight and YouTube, where I've been able to see some of these matches. So Mil Muertes defeated Wes Briscoe by DQ. Michael Schaefer defeated Demos with Teal Piper in his corner. In a 2-on-1 handicap match, Kaz XL with Melina defeated Frankie Thomas and Khan. For the SWE Texas title, the Blood Hunter, the champion, the Blood Hunter with Selena De La Renta defeated Luke Curtis. And then he defended the same title in a hardcore match, defeating Sabu, of all people. So the Blood Hunter defeated Sabu. Yeah. For the SWE tag titles, champions John Omari and Mike Anthony defeated Adam Asher and the Midnight Special. For the SWE TV title, champion Ronnie Mack defeated Jeremy Wyatt. For the SWE heavyweight title, champion Charlie Haas defeated Heartthrob Jaden. Then we get on to some more wrestlers doing more matches. So we got Mil Muertes defeating Andrew Jackson. Demos with Teal Piper defeated Edge Stone. For the SWE Women's title, champion Christy James defeated Renee Michelle. And Kaz XL with Melina defeated Gangrel. Always fun to see some of those names back in action, right? To SCW Pro Wrestling Reborn from Moline, Illinois. So you are on the map, because I know I've never said some of these names. For SCW Pro, QC Cup title match, Crotch defeated champion JT Energy to become the champion. Heather Reckless defeated Izzy B. For SCW Pro tag titles in a 6-man street fight. Okay, Gunner, Renegade, and Sabotage defeated champions Dion Rossman, Josiah, and Robin Steele. For the SCW Pro Iowa Wrestling title in a 4-way match, champion Xander Killen defeated Conan Lycan, Shane Hollister, and Solomon Tupu. Mason Beck defeated Connor Braxton. And for the SCW Pro Heavyweight title versus career match. Wow, really? Johnny Wisdom defeated champion One Called Manders. So Johnny Wisdom saved his career by beating the One Called Manders. Over to Ohio Valley Wrestling, the Saturday Night Special, Retribution from Louisville, Kentucky. For the World Radio title match, Ari Alexander defeated the champion Shannon the Dude to become the champion. For the OVW Rush title in a 4-way match, Star Rider defeated champion Isaiah Atiba and Gustavo to become the champion. For the OVW National Heavyweight title, champion Jesse Goddard defeated Lucius Lawrence. And for the OVW Heavyweight title, champion Omar Omir took on Cashflow, and that ended in a double pin. I saw a few of that during this week's recaps, so double pins, not a fan of them. Put it like that. To KLT Promotions, Superstars Live from Rome, Georgia, in a 20-man Battle Royal. Tony Atlas won that. Good old Tony Atlas. Keep going. For the MVW title, champion Joey Lynch defeated Matt Lynch. I guess brother against brother there. And for the KLT title, Kendo's Ladders and Chairs 5-way match, champion Jack Mosley defeated the Crash Test Dummy, Jordan Kingsley, Roma Miller, and the Plowboy. Oh, sorry. Boy. For IWA Mid-South, Ted Petty Invitational 2020, Day 2, from Jeffersonville, Indiana. I'll just do the final match. Tyler Matrix defeated Jay Christ and John Wayne Murdoch to become the champion there. I will say that had to be a good match with Tim defeating Jay Christ and John Wayne Murdoch. That had to be a good one. To Intergender Bonanza 8 Not My Champion from Williamstown, New Jersey. Stan Styles defeated Ava Everett. And in the intergender Bonanza Super Title 3-way match, Marcus Mathers defeated champion Mark Angel and Ray Lynn to become new champion. Excuse me. Then to Insane Championship Wrestling, the 420 Classic 2021, show number 2. I didn't get into show number 1 because I really didn't. Not my, not a no names, even on this, but I still went with it. In a tag team match, Cypher and Melanie Cruz defeated We Hate You Nation of CJ Cole and Fletch Malone. For the ICW Heavyweight title, then we'll continue 420 drama match. The winner was Cypher, so he went back to back and still won. And in a fans bring the weapons match, Neil Diamond Cutter defeated Percy Drews. To Heroes and Legends Wrestling 14 from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Marche Rocket defeated J Rock. For the women's title in a scramble match, Marty Bell defeated champion Amazing Maria, Billy Starks, Misa Kate, and Sierra the Rebel and Vipers to become new champion. In a minis title match, champion Eric Smalls took on Swaggle. They went to a no contest. I'm guessing because it went to a 6-man tag of Eric Smalls, Jason Maples, and Swaggle, defeating Nick Colucci, Nick Cutler, and Salem Crane. So I'm guessing they interfered and then got beat down. We had Pineapple Pete defeat Matt Wainwright, or Aiden English, as some might know. For the Cruiserweight title, champion Cody Lee defeated Cortez Castro. Wow. Lucha Underground. Cortez Castro back in action. All right. Carlito defeated Chris Masters. I guess they still don't like each other. Then for the HLW title and HWL Legends title unification match, the HLLW champion Anthony Totel defeated the Legends champion Drew Skills to become double champ. To Coastal Championship Wrestling, Bulldog Unleashed from Port St. Lucie, Florida. For the CCW tag titles, champions Ariel Levy and Vinicius, with Bill Alfonso in their corner, defeated Kid Thrash and Ryan Law. For the CCW Heavyweight title in a 4-way match, El Jefe Santos defeated champion Alex Ocean, Agony, and Cha-Cha Charlie to become new champions. And King Mo defeated Heidi Curio. So King Mo is trying to still wrestle. There was more Camp Leapfrog, Matt Mikowski's Frog Sport, open session. This is number 8, and that's on Facebook, so check that out if you wish. There's a few more shows last weekend. To Anarchy Wrestling, Hardcore Hell 23 from Cornelia, Georgia. For the Landmark Heritage title, champion Scott Mason defeated Sal Renaro. For the TV title, champion Tyler Culprit defeated Ace Haven. For their tag team title, Marcus Cross and the Machine defeated the champions Bill Behrens and Matt Hankins to become the champions. In an I Quit match, Bull Buchanan defeated Ben Buchanan. And for their heavyweight title, Jacob Ashworth defeated champion Shane Marks to become new champion. Back here in Illinois, we had AEW Alive number 7. So this was the first part of their live taping in Villa Park. So Ace Perry defeated Jake Lander. Sky Blue defeated Katie Arquette. Katie was filling in for an injured Hyan, who then later came out and beat down Sky Blue. We'll get into that a little bit more. Matt Fitchett defeated Thomas Shire. Shaft defeated Davey Vega. So yes, the best in the world are now doing singles action in AEW. For the AEW Heritage title, champion Myron Reed defeated Braden Lee. That was a really good match there. And what I thought the feed cut out, so I missed most of this match. But in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, Haihan came out asking for a match, and Sky Blue went against her, still holding her left arm because she was injured early on, but Haihan beat her 2 falls to 1. And then in a singles match, Fred Yehai defeated Matthew Justice in a wild, hard-hitting match between those two. To Alliance Universal Wrestling from Mexico. Also, we had Big Mommy and Lady Shani defeat Lady Maravilla and Ludark Shaitan. And then we had another tag match of Mascara and Psycho Clown defeating El Hijo de la Park and L.A. Park Jr. by DQ. That is around on YouTube, or if you check out DJ Ansi's stream, he did show that match. It's cut the show, actually. And then we go to Mex Wrestling San Juan Nights, still in Mexico, where we had a 4-on-3 handicap match of Baby Extreme, Torito Negro, and Toxin defeated Aglia Oriental, Noche Boy, Soul, and Spider-Fly. And then Jesse Ventura and Passion Crystal defeated Fulgor 1 and Toro Negro. Saw that also on DJ Stream. Then to the CMLL pay-per-view show. In the Mexican National Trios title tournament, best 2 of 3 falls, of course. Cancerbero, Razul, and Virus defeated the champions of... Oh, it's my fault. The championship was vacant. So Cancerbero, Razul, and Virus defeated Guerrero, Mario, Maya Jr., Star Jr., and Stuka Jr. to become new champions. For the CMLL World Tag Titles, champions Christico and Mystico defeated Golden Angel and the Terrible. 2 falls to 1 as well. And then plus 2 of 3 falls, 6-man match, Atlantis, Euphoria, and Volador Jr. defeated the Great Warrior, Last Warrior, and El Carbonario. Yeah, I just remember him as that. So it was nice to see Carbonario back in action, as well as Atlantis and Volador, and CML doing some good matches for a change. Finally, on to Sunday, April 25th. God, 20 minutes on one day. Alright, April 25th, Wrestle Addiction from Osaka, Japan. This was a freelance show. So Andy Wu and Super Delphin defeated Tokyo Kita and Ultimo Spider Jr. Daisuke Sakamoto defeated Dominoji So. Hibiscus Mill and Maya Ukai defeated Susie Suzuki and Tai Homa. It's a bunch of Japan companies mixed together there. And then we had a Tokyo Pro at Future Urban Music Festival. So there's only 2 matches. So Miyu Watanabe defeated Moko Miyamoto. And then Miyu Yamashita and Raku defeated Rushu Endo and Hikari Noah. There was a Tenru Project Survive the Revolution Volume 1, or Show 1, where Shota defeated Riki Fuji and Tsushi. Dragon Gate, the Gate of Passion, Day 13 took place, where Ultimo Dragon's team lost his 6-man tag match. Now we're going on to more editing here. We got All Japan Pro Wrestling Champion Carnival Day 7. Of course, so there's more championship matches there. Tajiri 6-man team won his match there. And then for the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title, champion Shima defeated Hikaru Sato. Over to Revolution Pro Wrestling, Epic Encounters 10. From Portsmouth, Hampshire, England. On Twitch TV or YouTube. Or if you're like me, it's on YouTube because I missed it on Twitch TV. I missed it on Twitch. Connor Mills defeated Sean Jackson. Chris Ridgway defeated Cullum Newman by referee's decision. Lee Hunter defeated Kid Lycos II. In a Southside Heavyweight title bracket match, Ricky Knight Jr. defeated Charlie Sterling by TKO. And for Southside Women's title, champion Kanji defeated Aaliyah James. Back here in the States for Extreme World Wrestling, Wrestle Revolution from Monroe, North Carolina, on Fight TV. For the Internet title, champion Jacob Ryan defeated Rob Killjoy and Thomas Extreme. For the vacant tag titles, Elliot Russell and Sigmund defeated Lodi and Mitch Harley to become champions there. And for the heavyweight title in a three-way match, LeBron Cazone defeated champion JD Drake and Kerry Morton. I'd have to consider that a little upset there. And then there was a hardcore light tube Seth match where champion Justin Fireball defeated Akira. Then to First Wrestling show number 1 from St. Paul, Minnesota at IWTV. Dante Martin defeated Cole Radrick and Don't Die Miles for the IWTV Independent title. Champion Lee Moriarty defeated Starboy Charlie. In a 4-way match, Blair Onyx defeated Billy Starks, Hyan, and Trish Adora. For what I saw of the show, it was really pretty good. And then first had a show number 2 later in the day. So Billy Starks defeated Blair Onyx. Dante Martin defeated Starboy Charlie. Devin Monroe defeated Cole Radrick, Don't Die Miles, and Lee Moriarty. And that was a really fun match there. And Hyan defeated Trish Adora. Really good match between those two as well. To Pro Wrestling All-Stars of Detroit, Showcase of the Stars from Detroit, Michigan. For the Cruiser Core title, champion Mysterious Movado defeated Darian Ultra. Then to Lucha Libre Total in Chicago from Waukegan, Illinois. So you were on the map. SWAT Cat 2, and Ulysses defeated El Gladiator, Tokyo Lee, and Excalibur. Not that Excalibur, but this is a different Excalibur. Yeah, that's about it there. Camp Leapfrog had another pre-show on Facebook, which led to Camp Leapfrog's Matt Mikowski's Frog Sport on IWTV, where he had more tournament quarter and semifinal matches, as well as a Soviet death match with Edith Sorrell defeating Masa Slamovich, a tag match between Devantes and Jet Jahori defeating Ryan Nova and the world famous CB, or Cheeseburger as most of you would know. And then for the Frog Sport tournament final match, Matt Mikowski defeated Darius Carter. Who knew that was going to happen, right? To All-Star Pro from Bethany, Oklahoma for the vacant tag titles in a 3-way match. Malik Mayfield and Maui Mike won those titles. I'll just go there. For the women's title, champion Danny B defeated Mighty Mara. And for the ASP title, champion Tino Valentino defeated Throne the Hunter. Down to IWRG, International Wrestling Revolution Group from Mexico, where El Hijo del Canis Lupus, El Hijo del Espectro Jr., and King Chara defeated Connick Jr., Fishman Jr., and Masquerita Sagrada Jr. by DQ. Dragon Bane defeated Baby Extreme and Toxine. And then there was a hair versus hair chain match where Fresro Jr. defeated Eternal. I believe one of those matches was shown on DJ Stream, so check that out as you wish. We'll go to Monday, April 26th. Tokyo Yoshi Pro, that's JPW number 5. This was the English match for Monday, where Nodeko Tenma and Yuki Aino defeated Marika Kobashi and Nao Kakuta. Pretty nice match there. To Sealing Special Night, for their Beyond the Sea tag titles, champions Arusho Nakajima and Nani Takahashi defeated Hironoro Hana and Riko Kawahara. New Japan Road to Wrestling Dantoku Day 12 took place. Coleco Pro on YouTube. Tuesday, April 27th, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Tour Day number 5. Rushu Endo and Maki Ito defeated Moko Miyamoto and Nao Kakuta. Hyper Michio defeated Mahiro Kiru and Pam Harajuku. Rika Kobashi, Raku, and Yuki Kamifuku defeated Nodeka Tenma, Yuki Aino, and Hiro Neko. Then in a bittersweet match, Hikaru Inoue defeated Sina Shiori. This was Sina's final match. I'll just call it a semi-retirement match because she has to go away due to an illness. So hope all gets better for her and she can come back to wrestling if she wishes. The main event was an 8-woman tag with Mizuki, Yuki Sakazaki, Miyu Yamashita, and Soko Nakajima, defeating Miyumi Suzumi, Miyu Watanabe, and Rika Tatsumi. This was a fun show. Go check that out if you wish. On to DDT Ganbare Pro Kocho Ranbu 2021 for the GWC 6-man tag titles. Asuka, Hagano, Sanu, and Shinichiro Tawanaga, who are champions, defeated Chris Brooks, Drew Parker, and Miyuko Matsumoto. Then there was Actress Girls Colors, where they have a tournament, number contendership tournament. Clean Pro on YouTube. Go to IAW Wrestling Go for Broke number 4 from Cleveland, Ohio, at IWTV. Wes Barkley defeated Marino Tanagalia. Dominic Rini defeated Arthur MacArthur. Trey Lamar defeated Philly Collins. To Heavy Metal Wrestling, Mall Madness number 5 from San Antonio, Texas. Also on IWTV, ACH defeated Pistolero Valaderas. Alright. To New South Pro Wrestling, Action Class number 33 from Haynesville, Alabama. Also on IWTV, Donnie Janela defeated Mike Bennett. That's a pretty big upset in my eyes. Cabana Man Dan defeated Danhausen. So that'd be a good match there. Nice to see Danhausen back in action somewhere other than Ring of Honor or just back in action in general. To Ohio Valley Wrestling TV 1133 from Louisville, Kentucky. Brandon Tate and Brent Tate defeated AJ Daniels and Tony Evans. To Wednesday, April 28th, New Japan Wrestling Satsuma no Kuno Day 1. So they're out of Dantuko, finally. Alright, so we had the New Japan King of Pro Wrestling title Creation of Darkness blindfold match, where champion Toru Yano defeated Evil. So yes, they were blindfolded. Interesting match. I got to see some of it. And then for the junior IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles, champions Sho and Yo defeated El Desperado and Kanemaru. And a really good match between those four. On to Ice Ribbon's Peace Party 73. There's Peas League final match. Usiki Oki defeated Rina Sengaki. Then in a freelance show for Happy Death Day. I won't get into it. I'm not going to find out what's going on there. In a Falls Count Anywhere hardcore 6-man match, Asuka, Chris Brooks, and Drew Parker defeated Jun Kasai, Miyoko Matsumoto, and Rina Yamashita. And it'll be an interesting match since it was the only one of the show. To DDT Max Bump 2021 Tour in Nagano. For the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal title tag match. So my favorite title is on the line. Chris Brooks, Tai Kojima, and defeated Saki Akai, who was champion, and Yuki Sakaguchi. As Chris Brooks put on a wild submission hold on Saki, and the referee called it, even though she did not submit. So then quickly after, she defeated Chris Brooks in a crazy wild pin to retain her Iron Man Heavy Metal title. So there you go, Saki. Good job. If you must know, Saki Akai and Chris Brooks are rather tall, but they're about the same height. But Saki's kind of tall for women in Japan, you might say. So they match up. So it's just a very lengthy, weird pin. Check it out. It's a fun match. I'm just glad to see Saki get her title back. I still want the title though. And a 6-man tag, Jun Akiyama, Makoto Oshii, Ishii, and Yusuke Okada defeated Hiroshima, Kaigo Nakamura, and Yuki Aino. Interesting show. Most of the matches I said were about the only ones you could really watch. Collegiate Pro back on YouTube with the Rising Knight. Back here in the States for Paradigm Pro Wrestling, UWFI Rules Contender Series number 6. Yoya defeated Robert Martyr in a UWFI tag match. Bobby Beverly and Matthew Justice defeated Dominic Garrini and Tom Lawler. That had to be a very interesting match there. As you can see, I did not see it. To Limitless the Road, Season 3, Episode 10. In a street fight, Ace Romero defeated Alex Price. In the Fight Underground, undisclosed number 3 from Anna, Illinois. So you are on the map. Savion Ayers defeated Jeremy Travis. Tyler Thorne defeated Tanner Keeler. Stonewall defeated Tony Evans. And Jacques Kennedy defeated Anakin Murphy. Then I'd like to mention the Ring of Honor Women's Division. On YouTube, since this is they do their stuff on YouTube. Hyan, Laney Luck, and Roxy, I've all seen lately. Great to see them on Ring of Honor, and Maxine Taylor, I'm sure, is pretty good herself. Nice to see them. Hyan and Laney Luck are from the Chicago area, so that was nice to see them on Ring of Honor. So all the best to them, and wherever their road might go from there. To Thursday, April 29th, Tokyo Pro, that's PW number 6. Another English match. So we have Mizuki and Yuki Sakazaki defeating Raku and Soka Nakajima. If you see this match, Shoko and Raku are hilarious trying to talk English, so I don't think they'll get what they're saying. Check it out. Don't put anything against them, but man, they tried their best. I'll put it to that. And it was a fun match, but also to Pro Wrestling Noah, the Glory 2021 for the GAC Junior Heavyweight Title tag match. Champions Hayata and Yoshinari Ogawa defeated Akito Hideko, Deka, and Naswa Rangu. Excuse me. I can't talk in this weather. It's hot outside and cold down here. For the GHC National Title, Takashi Segura defeated champion Kazuyuki Fujita to become the champion. And in the GHC Heavyweight Title, champion Kenji Muto defeated Masa Kitamiya. I knew that was going on because I completely missed that match. So hopefully it's out there and I can see it. The New Japan Wrestling Satsusama and Kino Day 2 took place. Still with crowds. We'll talk about that at the end. Gotta Move Chaka Pro 109 on YouTube. Where they had the Asia Dream tag titles on the line were Balina Aki and Mei Suruga, who were champions, defeating Antonio Honda and Tokigo Kirihara. Dragon Gate of Passion Day 14 took place. Yeah, Ultimate Dragon lost his 6-man tag match there. Big Japan Pro Wrestling, where they had 10-minute matches, and if they didn't end, there was a 1-count rules match. So Daisuke Sakamoto and Yuya Oki took on Chris Brooks and Drew Parker to a 10-minute draw. And then in a minute 6, Daisuke Sakamoto and Yuki Oki won with a 1-count pin. Yeah. And there's Actress Girls Colors title match where champion Saki and defeated Yuna Mizumori. And then for the number 1 contendership tournament final match, Hikari Sumuzu took on Misa Matsui in a 10-minute draw. So only time will tell what happens there. All Japan Carnival Day 8 and Day 9. Since Day 8 was taped and shown on that day, and Day 9 was shown, that's what happened there. Active Advance Pro Wrestling Grand Slam and 2AW Square for their open weight title. Sashi Takazawa defeated champion Ayata Yoshida to become the champion. To IWA Mid-South Derby Madness from Jeffersonville, Indiana. Jesse Bell Smelders defeated Thunder Kitty. Ace Perry defeated Hunter Drake. And for their IWA Mid-South title, champion Tyler Matrix defeated Papono Joe. To Absolute Intense Wrestling, Hello Cleveland from Cleveland, Ohio on IWTV. Swaggle defeated Wes Barkley. Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr. defeated Cheech and Colin Delaney. Derek Dillinger defeated Shane Douglas. Of course, the one day Shane Douglas wrestles in the States, I missed the show. So hopefully it was good. Dominic Green defeated Lee Moriarty. Matthew Justice defeated Kaplan. And in an AIW Tag Title Scramble match, Marino Tengali and the champions Philly Collins won that, so they retain. And in the AIW Absolute Title Intense Rules match, champion Joshua Bishop defeated Mance Warner. And I'm sure between those two, it was very intense and bloody and hard-hitting. So check that out if you can, and maybe you'll see me trying to find it myself. Friday, April 30th, New Japan Road to Dantuku Day 13. I don't know how they got back on that road, but they are. To Battle Championship Wrestling 43 from East Burwood, Victoria, Australia. So you are on the map. For the BCW Heavyweight title, Slacks defeated champion Nick Berry to become new champion. And in a tag team hardcore match, Cletus and Mad Dog defeated champions Jonathan Preston and Sean Preston to become new champions. Back to New Texas Pro Wrestling Pro Rodeo from Houston, Texas, and IWTV. Heather Monroe defeated Jamie Senegal and Vert Vixen. For the New Texas Pro title, champion Mysterious Q defeated Mike Bennett. So Mike's been in action a little bit more outside of ROH. JJ Blake defeated Effie. And for the New Texas Pro Wrestling title, Roxy defeated champion Rochelle Rose by DQ. So no title change there. Millennium Pro Wrestling The Return from Chatsworth, California. You were on the map for the MPW Heavyweight title. Champion Mickey Rose defeated Dan Joseph and Ray Rosas. And Diego Valens defeated Matt Vandergriff. Back to Absolute Intent Wrestling. This is something you might be interested in from Cleveland, Ohio. Since I actually knew this show was on, I paid attention. Kaplan defeated Levi Everett. Allison Kay defeated Jocelyn Navarro. Mance Warner took on Tommy Rich, which went to a no contest quickly because the losers, Eric Taylor, Mike Montgomery, Ethan Wright, and the Duke interfered and then quickly challenged by Mance Warner. Tommy Rich, yes, Wildfire, Tommy Rich, that's him, yes. Marino Tangala and Phil Collins, as they beat the losers down. PB Smooth and Trey Lamar defeated Duke Davis and Cannon Jones Jr. Eddie Kingston defeated Dominic Guarini, so Eddie was able to leave AEW for a little bit and put everything over, of course. And then for the AIW Absolute title, and in another intense rules match, champion Joshua Bishop defeated Matthew Justice with Bill Alfonso. This match will be on Botchamania. I'm sorry. A lot of stuff went weird. Bill Alfonso was crazy. As always, loved it. He did great. Still messed up, of course, because the tables would not break. So pay attention to this week or next week's Botchamania. This show will be on it. Sorry, but it will. Then up to Super Kicked, paying dues from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on YouTube, where they had a Super Kicked King of the Six tag team title 2-on-1 handicap match. So Blake and Dallas Kyle defeated champion Chris Chambers to become the champion. For the Queen of the Six title, champion Taylor Rising defeated Alexa Nicole. And a Super Kick title, champion Solo Ali defeated Mark Wheeler. Finally, to earlier today, Saturday, May 1st. Happy May, everyone. Tokyo Yoshi Pro Tour 2021, Day 6. This was really late last night, Friday. So Nandeka Tenma defeated Moko Miyamoto. Miro Miyumi and Suzumi defeated Rusho Endo and Maki Ito. In a choice and chance rules match, now Kakuta defeated Hyper Masao. That was an interesting match. I didn't get that rule, but it was still a good match nonetheless. Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki defeated Runo Neko and Soka Nakajima. Kari Noah, Raku, and Pam Harajuku defeated Mihiro Kiru, Yuki Aino, and Yuki Kanofuku. That got interesting. And then Mio Watanabe and Riku Tatsumi defeated Maruka Kobashi and Mio Yamashita. Now this is a good show. This is one of the first shows that they will be doing with no fans, as Japan has now in some cities put on a COVID ban, so a lot of things are either being canceled or to no crowds shows, and this was one of the first. So they did their best. They put on a good show. Hopefully things get better in Japan. To Wave Nami 1, where they were able to have some fans. So Hikaru Yoniyama defeated Suzuki Tsukada. New Japan Road to Day 14 took place, where they really had fans. Ice Ribbon 1113 took place, where they had some fans. Drew Parker and Risa Serra defeated Akain Fujita and Suzy Suzuki. And then Ganamu Chaka Pro 110, where they really don't have fans, on YouTube in 8-man action. So go check that out. I'm not getting out to those names. And then finally, to Riot City Wrestling 224, in Hater We Trust, from South Australia. Adam Brooks defeated James Cray for the RCW Women's title, number 1 contendership match. Amber Switch defeated Delta. And for the RCW title, champion Matt Hayter defeated Tony Toro. Sorry about my voice. Like I said, down here is a little chilly, and maybe this must have messed me up. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time with more indie matches, which are happening today, including GCW and Jersey City Wrestling, and any other news from around the wrestling world. Hopefully Tom talked about Rush's Federation as CMLL disbanded from Ring of Honor. And if you see the new league and who Rush has on his his first card, you can understand why. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep it rolling right along here, where I get to play kind of armchair promoter a little bit, give my take or my like how I would run things if I was in charge, and I do that every week in the Fantasy Booker. All right, so this week on the Fantasy Booker, I'm just this is me wondering more than anything else. Are we seeing the beginnings of a new women's faction possibly in WWE? And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with Sonya Deville reinstating Charlotte Flair. Now, they looked awful friendly, awful chummy when Sonya let Charlotte into the building when they left the ring after the announcement. And, with Sonya setting up the match between Charlotte and Mandy, they looked very, very friendly. So could we be seeing slowly happening the formation of a new women's faction, possibly something along the lines of a 4 horsewomen, and I'm not talking about Charlotte and Bayley and Becky and Sasha, and I'm not talking about Ronda and Shayna and Marina and Jessamine. I'm talking brand new faction led by Charlotte Flair. Obviously, you got to have Flair as at the forefront of any horseman, horsewomen type group. But Sonya Deville would not be a bad choice for a group of that nature. Now, if that's the case, and this is where we get into the fantasy booking part, who would the other two members of this faction be? I mean, who do you put with Charlotte and Sonya to round out a group like this? I mean, Sonya Deville is a legit badass. Charlotte Flair, quite possibly the best women's wrestler in the world right now, or just one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Forget the qualifiers as far as man, woman, whatever. So who do you put with them? And I've got a few ideas on this one, just because WWE as a whole, between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, they have a stacked women's roster. They really do. And somebody who I could see, somebody who I'm always been a big advocate for is Dana Brooke. She's one that I think is due for an opportunity. But she obviously is one that's not going to be in that leadership role, because she's just not that. I hate to put it this way, she's not that high up on the food chain in WWE. So I could see her possibly in that Arn Anderson type role for a group like this. As that enforcer, because she is the big, strong, muscled up, enforcer type. And I could definitely see her having a more serious character like that. So and her having a heel turning on Mandy Rose, her tag team partner, that could I think that would play out very, very well. So you add her to that mix with Charlotte and Sonya. And then who do you put in that fourth spot? Who would be the fourth horsewoman for this group? You got Charlotte, you got Sonya, you got Dana. For me, I would bring in somebody completely unexpected. I would bring in somebody from NXT who, maybe hasn't had a lot of opportunity, and this is going to sound very, very odd to a lot of people, but I would make the fourth member of this faction Kacy Catanzaro, because she is probably the most athletic woman on the WWE roster, or at least a close second to Naomi, who's a damn fine athlete. But she's agile, she's quick, and she's one, again, hasn't had a big spotlight shown on her, but she's always kind of been the baby face, the goody two shoes kind of, but catches a lot of heat online for a lot of her personal shit. And so play off that, use that to turn her heel and put her in this group. So that is what I would put together for a new 4 horsewomen faction: Charlotte, Sonya, Dana, and Kacy Catanzaro. I'm telling you, it would work. It sounds weird. It would work. Or at least I think it would. So that's the fantasy booker for this week. That is my new 4 horsewomen faction: Charlotte Flair, Sonya Deville, Dana Brooke, and Kacy Catanzaro. So let's get into the last segment of the show here, where I give kind of an unpopular opinion, or just talk about something that's pissing me off, whatever it might be. It's the weekly hot take. MLW working with WWE is a bad idea. And, I know Court Bauer used to work for WWE, so this is probably going to happen if that rumor is true, that they are in talks to work together. But I just think it's a bad idea. I don't see it working out well. I don't see it being advantageous for MLW. I see WWE using MLW as kind of a training ground for their people who are not on TV at the current moment. Kind of the same thing that they did with ECW back in the day. ECW did not benefit from that relationship at all. You had WWE guys who weren't being used on TV, making appearances for ECW. Whenever ECW guys did appear on WWE TV, they were decimated. The only ECW people to thrive in WWE was Rob Van Dam and the Dudley Boys. That was it. Nobody else from ECW benefited from that relationship with the WWE. And I think it'll be the same thing with MLW. And I talked about this a little while ago with people online saying, oh, WWE worked with people all the time. Bullshit. They don't work with people, man. They take people over. And people want to talk about, oh, they work with Evolve, and they work with Progress, and they work with ICW over in the UK and that kind of stuff. No, you know what? They basically run those promotions because the people who are in charge of those promotions work for WWE. The guys from IWC and Progress are the ones that are on site for NXT UK. They work for Shawn Michaels, who's basically the producer, the head guy for NXT UK. And they all work for Triple H. So, don't tell me WWE is working with those promotions. No, they're not. They're using them as a feeder system into their performance centers. So, that's not a working relationship to me. That's WWE using them as a minor league system. So I don't see anything different than that happening with MLW. Kind of the same thing that, like I said, happened with ECW back in the day. WWE is going to send their people who are not on TV over to MLW just to get TV experience and just to get reps in the ring. And MLW is going to send some of their guys who I don't know, hopefully not their top guys. But in the end, I think WWE will just end up kind of poaching certain wrestlers from MLW, namely Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone. That's my opinion. That's what I can see happening, unless this deal is being brokered by Triple H to be mutually beneficial to both companies. But I don't know. I mean, again, this is a situation we got to wait and see what happens, see how it plays out. Who knows if it's even true? It's at this point, it's just a rumor that MLW and WWE are having discussions. Apparently WWE is tired of having that stigma around them that they don't work with other companies. So, and they're trying to get away from that. But we'll have to wait and see. I hope on this one, honest to God, I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see. There's some very good crossover potential between MLW and WWE. So hopefully I am dead wrong and it all works out and both companies thrive off of it. So that's what I hope happens. But I don't have a lot of faith that it will happen. So it's another wait and see thing. So it is what it is. But again, as of right now, it's just a rumor. So take it with a grain of salt. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure to head over to catchhookshoot.com to find everything and anything about the show, events, podcasts, videos, interviews, everything. And definitely make sure to check out the Catch Hook and Shoot shop. Check out the new merchandise, like I said, that I just put out this week to benefit Steve Mongo McMichael's GoFundMe. 50% of all proceeds from the Chicago Bears themed t-shirts and hats will go directly to Steve McMichael's GoFundMe account. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. Patreon.com/Catch Hook Shoot for bonus content. The May content just went up yesterday, so head over there and check that out. Check out the trivia contest where you can win a free t-shirt. Subscribe to twitch.tv/Catch Hook Shoot, where we will be doing occasional watch parties. I haven't had one for a few weeks. I'm going to try and get one set for next week, so keep an eye on social media. That's twitch.tv/Catch Hook Shoot to watch along with whatever video or movie we'll happen to be watching at that time. And ProWrestlingTees.com/Catch Hook Shoot for even more t-shirts that you won't find on the Catch Hook and Shoot website. And you can find all that and more on our Linktree, which is Linktree/Catch Hook Shoot, or scan this little QR code right here in the corner of your screen if you're on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So that's going to wrap everything up for this week. I want to, again, thank everybody for tuning in. Hope everyone has a great week. Enjoy all the wrestling coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.